Thus, with the removal of fuel subsidy and the introduction of CNG vehicles as an alternative, the oil and gas sector has faced various challenges in the last 1 year. But President Tinubu says it will later pay off for all Nigerians. He has introduced various initiatives to speed up Nigeria's cleaner energy transition drive. He has also conducted the groundbreaking ceremony of the Gwagwalada power plant owned by the NNPC Limited to boost power generation in the country. Well, joining us in the studio is Executive Director, Center for Sustainable Mobility and Access Development, Dr. Kayode Opeifa. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Uncle Sam.
Now, the statement that Nigerians will never forget, May the 29th, 2023, was when the president said, fuel subsidy is gone. And then everything around the economy began to feel the shocks with regards to that statement he made. Talk to us from your perspective, how well the president and perhaps this current administration have been able to manage the shocks with regards to that. We recall that every presidential candidate at that election had said fuel subsidy was something that had to be removed.
Thank you very much, and good morning, Nigerians. Happy May 29th. Right. Thank God we are not saying Happy Democracy Day. That will be on June 12th.
Right.
Yeah. Serious. I think that statement to me is the most audacious and bold statement that has ever come from any of Nigeria's presidents in recent time. And as audacious and as bold as it is, I want to say that it has brought a lot of opportunities. It is expected, but nobody wants to say it until President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was bold enough to say that. And since that period, a lot of things have happened. That was on May 29, 2023. On July 31st, same year, 2023, the president addressed the nation. And like somebody said, the palliatives were not fully in place as at the time he came. But on July 31st, he made clarification. And he said, this is what's going to happen. We're going to introduce some number of buses that will be powered by CNG. And Nigerians expected the buses to come the next day. Unfortunately, the buses are not on the shelf. So this is because, then also, he also put in some palliatives, which because of the issues with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Nigeria has not been able to get the full benefit. However, there are also palliatives to the MSMEs that has been ongoing, 50,000, 25,000, 3 million, 5 million, going for people to enhance their businesses. So what I would say is that after he made that statement, a lot of people say it has brought a lot of challenges. I disagree. Okay. What it has brought is opportunity for us to get away from the waste and the arbitrage and trade in the subsidy removal. Now, moving away from that, on May 31st, when he mentioned that we will now be moving towards energy sustainability, and that we'll be using CNG gases to power our automobiles and also for the industry. Within that short period, we have seen a lot of Nigerians rushing into the value chain involved in the gas industry. We have also seen, as you mentioned in your preview, that they've also started delivering a lot of gas infrastructure. And if you piggyback 12 months away and you come back to where we are today, we have improved where we are in the area of gas and energy sufficiency, better than where we were. If you go into petroleum PMS itself, you can see the effort being made by the Dangote refinery. It's an aggressive effort. We now have production of AGO diesel. We are now producing Jet A1, and within the next 2 months, we'll start producing PMS. That's on the petroleum side. On the natural gas side, he also initiated the presidential CNG initiative, the committee. And that committee has been doing its own. The NNPC pushing along, NMDPR pushing along. You have standard organizations setting 80 standards. You have NITT, you have Nigerian Automotive Design and Development Council working with assembly plant. We've now started producing CNG vehicles. We've ramped up the capacity to produce and manufacture vehicles whichever way. So many things have happened. So in my own view, I think the statement was right. I believe it was well thought of, regardless of whatever people ask about it. He also said in his July 31st and the October speech, said there will be hardship. But we are ready to make the situation better. So we have seen some level of hardship. But these are hardships that are desirable. Because if you want to move from a situation where the country was bleeding and the country was about to collapse, right now we are stabilized. The foreign reserve is hovering around 32, 33. Before it will just go to 29, then you never know, then we are taking ways and means to pay up debt. Now we are no longer using ways and means. So the foreign reserve is preserved. So we must give kudos to all the agencies and organizations around these fuel subsidies gone speech, because they've all risen to the occasion. NNPC recently commissioned, the president recently commissioned 3 gas infrastructure. So if you go into the New Hope agenda, he mentioned 8 things. And out of those 8 things, the gas, ramping up the gas infrastructure and gas utilization.
Right, interesting. Just to quickly follow up on some of the things you mentioned, especially talking about the availability of the buses for mass transit. We know how Nigerians are when it comes to they're waiting on government to deliver on its promises. And with regards to also the cost they are making on transportation. There's something happening in Elasamaja, I think today. The launch. Yes. Talk to us about that.
That should be tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
That should be, as part of the ramping up of the gas infrastructure to improve the gas supply for especially the automobile industry, the NNPC tomorrow, in partnership with TGNL, that's the private sector organization, will be commissioning a 5.2 million standard cubic feet plant in Elasamaja around the gas hub in Elasamaja. And that facility will have 2 components. That is a compression plant. You know, CNG is gas, natural gas that is compressed.
Yes.
So as to increase the value within a tube-like stuff. And then at the same time, that plant is going to have a dispensing outlet. Right. So if I have a CNG vehicle, or I've converted my vehicle to CNG, I can go there to refill. I can also, the plant can also compress for people to buy the compressed gas in a bottle-like or tube, not the typical LPG.
Yeah,
this one is an extruded tube. Yeah. And then move to your site for industrial production. And that plant can service, if fully utilized in a day, about 3,700 vehicles. That is cars. And if it is trucks, about 600 trucks. And what the plant, the difference in that plant to the usual one people are used to is that it is the state of the art. And this plant has the capacity to dispense multiple cars. You have different sets for cars, different sets for trucks, different sets for buses. So within a short period of time, you can have a lot of vehicles. And also that plant can produce compressed natural gas for 250 kilometers away from Elasamaja. So
is conversion also a part of what they'll be doing there?
No.
Conversion of vehicles?
No. That plant is purely a gas dispensing and gas compression center. Right. Conversion center is different. That's what is going on in Ilorin today. In Ilorin today, the PCNG Initiative Committee, in partnership with the Kwara State government and private sector, really a private sector initiative, will be launching a plant in Ilorin. That plant has the capacity for conversion and refilling of vehicles. So if you go to that plant in Ilorin, you can convert your vehicles, and they also have the capacity for you to refill your vehicle. And I think there are about 120 of such conversion centers in Nigeria now. And the plan was to do 100 in 2024. So already the president has, the president has made that number.
The conversion in Lagos, also Lagos.
Lagos, the total number, what I mentioned about the 120 is all over the country.
Yeah.
I just mentioned the one in Lagos probably is having much more than any other.
Do you know
city.
where the points are? Because there might be some persons who do not know where the points are.
I think that will be rolled out today.
Right.
The PICNG Limited, that is the PCNG Committee, will be rolling out the list of certified conversion centers. Currently, as we speak, people are already doing conversion in whichever form.
Explain to us what it entails to convert. But if I want to convert my car to CNG.
So what it entails is simple. You have your vehicles on diesel or petrol. So what they do is about fuel now. It's not as if they will convert your vehicle from petrol to...
Absolutely. No. You can use both.
So they'll just give you a biofuel situation. It's like there is a kit. There are 2 or 3 different kinds of kits depending on whether you want to do full conversion or whatever. So they just install the kit professionally. It contains of tubes, some small gadgets. They will install. It's just like when you add air condition to your non-air conditioned vehicle. Some kits like that. Then they will give you the gas, the CNG cylinder, which will be at the back of your vehicle.
The concern for some Nigerians is the production of these kits, because as we speak, I think we're still importing production of these kits and the cost, so as to cut costs for transporters and people.
Yeah, those are genuine concerns. They are genuine concerns. The kits are currently being imported, and the standard organization has issued about 80 standards for what they should meet, and that will be done at the port. Then also the NADDC, Nigeria Automotive Design and Development Council, has also been training the trainer that would work with a mechanic. Then the PCNG committee is also currently going around the country. I think they've been to Lagos, Ilorin, Port Harcourt, about 5 states each, talking to the mechanics, talking to the public transport, passenger and goods operators, talking to stakeholders on how to get about it. Now, in terms of safety, it's safer than petrol, it's safer than the LPG, and we keep the gas, we keep the cooker and everything. So this one is safer. What is more important is the infrastructure to make sure these things are available.
Are they readily available now?
What?
All these gadgets, the kits.
The kits are available. Today the PCNGI committee will roll out the full. That's why they picked May 29, the full information, and they will advise Nigerians where and how, and they are even incentivized. The government has incentivized to allow for early adopters, because if people don't get into it, they will never know the value. So the kits are available. The technology is available. Human capacity training is ongoing. And this involves NITT, Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, Standard Organization of Nigeria. You have NMDPRA, you have NNPC. Then you have the private partners, Rolling Energy. You have ABG. Top of all, you have NIPCO. NIPCO has ramped up his CNG gas refilling plants now to, I think, about 32, and that is about 30 more. You know, just around this corner, I think, Mobile in front of Cadbury. Yeah. Is already dispensing CNG. And so many people are yet to know where these things are available, because the important thing is for the gas to be available. That is the essence of the gas pipelines NNPC is building. The next thing is for the compression plant. CNG is not just gas use. So when it comes to the pipeline, it gets to a point, it has to be compressed. That's why they built the ANO OB3 gas pipeline. That is from Imo to Delta. The gas is in Delta. The processing plant is in Imo, so they build the plant. That is why they also build the AHL processing plant in Kwale. That's in Delta. That's to process the gas. So there's also the AKK pipeline ongoing. That's the infrastructure to transport the gas to the northern part of Nigeria, because the gas pipelines are now more on the southern part of Nigeria and the north central part of Nigeria. So the effort that NNPC is concentrating on is getting the gas pipeline across the country so that they can pipe the natural gas to these points, and there will be compression centers. The compression center is the one that will compress it to form what you call the CNG. So when it becomes the CNG, that's when it's useful to your car. So as the conversion kits, the government promised 55,000 conversion kits, and that there is also a promise that by the end of 2024, we should be able to have 58,000 cars converted. So it's not as if all the 2 million, for example, in Lagos, not all the 2 million to 2.5 million vehicles in Lagos will be converted this year. But at least there will be a start from the kits. Now, the advice is for people, not just to buy any kit. The advice is not for you to just go to any mechanic and say you want to do conversion. You have to make sure the kits are genuine. You have to also make sure that the mechanic is a certified. And that is the job a lot of the regulators are doing in this regard. But for the plant...
It's unwieldy. I mean, you know, you were given the instance of a house that has no AC, then you put AC. You have to break the wall. Yeah. After breaking the wall, then, you know, the smooth facade outside is now obstructed by the AC, which is like a hunchback inside on the back of your house. You know, so what is
Uncle Sam,
is it going to look like
Uncle Sam, that was in those days. Nobody used those kind of ACs again. We now drill hole for AC.
No, you said house without AC.
No, I said cars.
Oh, okay.
Now, for the cars, nothing will be damaged. All they would do is just to make the fittings within your cars and then put the tank, let me call it tank, because I have to use language that people understand. Yeah, to put the tank right inside your boot and then the wirings. I said, you know, just the same way, when they put AC in the car without AC, they create a space for the neon gas and then some tubes. There's not going to be any damage to your car. And your
car does it cost to do that? The average person wants to know.
From information we gathered from the PCNG, they're saying about 750,000 naira
per individual,
per vehicle, depending on the kind of vehicle. Like you using V8 might be different from mine using V4. But however, the big thing is this: whatever you spend.
You know, I'm using V8. You have not seen me drive before.
No, I'm just assuming. Okay. Looking at your tire, your tire, using a red tire like Donald Trump, right? So I just assume. So, seriously speaking, this is an amount of money you can recover in just about 20 weeks.
It means that
the gas is cheaper.
You have to really save money to go.
To be able to come back.
It's already incentivized. Yeah. You know, you had a credit system in this country now. You have so many options. If you can apply to and get it done, and whenever you can also get it on credit. As soon as you buy the gas, there is a system that allows you to net off. Is like pay off, not net off. Pay off the cost of installation.
Okay.
Interesting. One question that I believe that a majority of Nigerians will be asking is why it took us this long to be able to put all of this structure in place, because so many Nigerians were waiting for this to have happened.
Rather than thinking of why it took us too long, I will commend the effort of the current administration for taking that bold decision to speed it up. It's not as if Nigeria doesn't know that we need to go this way, but you need political will to push it. We have been enjoying subsidy on fuel, so why do we want to? Who is interested in anything else? If I'm buying petroleum at the cost of CNG gas, what's my business with CNG gas? However, we got to a point we have to take this decision, and we've taken this decision, and the infrastructure is now in place or is ramping up. The same thing in the PMS area. The oil production is ramping up gradually. Oil deficits being fought frontally, and all the dead marginal fields are coming up. And our friends in Ogoni, the government is already talking with them. So these are all opportunities to ramp up production, boost the economy, and then the CNG initiative is the one that will create a perfect energy mix and energy security. Now I have an option to use CNG for vehicles. So there's less pressure on
fuel.
And don't forget, the net zero 2060 is there, staring at us. So we have to quickly move to make sure.
Interesting. There's so much to say, but because of our time, we have to leave the conversation here. Dr. Kayode Opeifa, Executive Director, Center for Sustainable Mobility and Access Development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Did I say something wrong?
No.
Okay.